Hello everyone, welcome to EduTap and welcome to the Finance Current Affairs session. In today's session, we are going to discuss a very important news article of finance that is regarding the Reserve Bank of India's Monetary Policy Committee special meeting. So what is this special meeting? Why it is called special? It is the special meeting because it is in the first time in the history of the Reserve Bank of India since the Monetary Policy Committee has been set up that there was such a need for this special meeting. So what is the reason behind it? What is the failure that is involved? What is this draft report that has to be sent to the government? Why is there a need for this draft report? All of this we are going to discuss in today's session, and let me tell you that this is a very important news article from the examination point of view, as well as this is a very interesting news article also, okay, because there is failure involved, there are the reasons behind this special meeting. So all of this we are going to discuss in today's session. But before starting with the session, there is a big announcement from EduTap that we have brought for you the comprehensive guide for the RBI, NABARD and SEBI. So through a single guidebook, you can get all your common queries answered. That is, if you have any query regarding the examination, that what is the pattern of the exam, what are the previous year cutoff of the exam, what is the syllabus for the examination, all of those queries can be answered through a single guidebook. You do not have to visit different links, you do not have to visit different websites. Through a single guidebook, you can get all your questions answered. Even if you have queries regarding the preparation, that what should be the sources for the preparation, what should be the strategy for the preparation, through a single guidebook you can get all your queries answered. As well as you do not have to visit different links, you do not have to visit different websites. This is absolutely free of cost to save your time, to save your efforts in getting the definitive answers of your common queries. Do download this free guidebook that is provided. The link for this guidebook is provided in the description box below. So do download this guidebook. This is going to increase the level of your understanding for the examination, okay? So now moving forward to the topic of today, that is the why RBI is holding an off-cycle MPC meeting, that is a special meeting. So this is the schedule that has been provided, that in April the Monetary Policy Committee provides its schedule for the full year, that in this month we will be doing the meetings, and the bi-monthly meetings are there of the Monetary Policy Committee. So for the financial year, that is 2022-23, for this financial year, the first meeting was held in April, and after that the bi-monthly, this is the full schedule, the dates are given for the meetings of the Monetary Policy Committee for 2022-23. And the first off-cycle meeting happened in May 2022, in which the repo rate was increased. But it was a common kind of off-cycle meeting which was held because the repo rate was changed. But now in November 2022, again the MPC has met. And this date was not defined in this schedule, and that's why first of all it is an off-cycle meeting that has not been defined, that has not been determined through the schedule. So the MPC met on November 2022, and why it became special? This meeting is a very special meeting. It is first time in the history of the MPC that there was such a meeting that was needed in November 2022. So that we will understand. So the Reserve Bank of India's Monetary Policy Committee met in an off-cycle meeting on November 3rd, 2022. So this is the off-cycle meeting, and for this financial year, this is the second off-cycle meeting that has happened. The first one was May 2022, the second one is November 2022, okay? And this is the schedule that the RBI has to meet in this year, okay? So in December, like ending 2022, the RBI will be meeting, the next meeting will be on December, that is the scheduled meeting, and after that the meeting will held on February, okay? So section 45. So now before understanding that why this off-cycle meeting is a very special meeting, before understanding why it is so special, we have to understand that what MPC do, what this Monetary Policy Committee do. So first of all, the Monetary Policy Committee, this was set up in 2016, in August 2016. The RBI Act of 1934, this was amended. So the RBI Act of 1934 was amended in 2016 to provide for a framework of the Monetary Policy Committee, and the section 45ZB of the RBI Act provides for the constitution of a 6-member Monetary Policy Committee. So the whole constitution and everything is determined there in the RBI Act of 1934, which was amended in 2016 to provide a framework for the Monetary Policy Committee. Now the Monetary Policy Committee determines the policy rates. So it changes the repo rate so that the SDF is also changing, that is the standing deposit facility is also changing, the MSF marginal standing facility also changes. So the policy rates are determined by the MPC to meet the inflation target. Now what is the inflation target? Inflation target is 4% plus minus 2%. That is the range has been provided, that the minimum the inflation rate can go is 2% and the maximum inflation rate should go is 6%. So this is the upper tolerance level and this is the lower tolerance level. Who has provided this range? The central government with the consultation of RBI has provided this range in April 2016. August 2016. In this year, August 2016, this range was provided by the central government with the consultation with the RBI. Now, for the 5 years, this range was maintained. This range was thought that okay, we have to maintain this range, and in April 2021, in March 2021 or April 21, the government said that we will continue with this range. Okay, the RBI or the Monetary Policy Committee has to meet this inflation target. This is the range in which the RBI has to maintain the inflation target. The MPC has to set the policy rates in such a way that the inflation target is met. Okay, that is 4% plus minus 2%. In this range, the inflation should be, and it should not go above 6%. But now what has happened, that a special MPC meeting is being held for the first time since MPC was set up in 2016. So this special meeting held, and why it held? Because the RBI was not able, the Monetary Policy Committee was not able to meet the inflation target. So here you can see that from January 2022 onwards, the inflation was above 6%, that is the upper tolerance level. So the government has already said that the inflation should be in this range. It should not go above this range or below this range. But since 2022, since the start of this 2022, the inflation is above the upper tolerance level. You can see 6.01%, 6.7, it has gone above. Now the data, this is July, and in August it was 7%. In September, it was 7.41%. So you can understand that for 9 months, for 9 continuous months, for 9 consecutive months, the inflation rate was above the upper tolerance level. So an official explanation. So this special meeting has to be done by the MPC, because an official explanation to the central government as to why the RBI is failing, why the Monetary Policy Committee of the RBI is failing to keep the inflation within the tolerance target band of 2 to 6% for 3 consecutive targets. So if the Monetary Policy Committee is failing to meet the inflation target, what it has to do? So if there is a failure to meet the inflation target, so what is the criteria for that? First of all, when we will consider that the RBI is failing or the Monetary Policy Committee of the RBI is failing to meet the criteria or to meet the inflation target, so the central government has notified the following as the factors that constitute failure to achieve the inflation target. That is, if the average inflation, if the inflation is above the upper tolerance level for 3 consecutive quarters, or we can say for 9 months, continuous 9 months, if the inflation is above the upper tolerance level, or if the inflation is below the lower tolerance level for 3 consecutive quarters. So upper tolerance level is 6% and lower tolerance level is 2%. So if the inflation is above 6% for 3 consecutive quarters, or if inflation is below 2% for 3 consecutive quarters, then it will be considered as the failure to maintain the inflation target by the RBI's Monetary Policy Committee. And you can see that since January, it is like the 8 months. For 8 months, it has happened that the Monetary Policy Committee was not able to maintain the inflation under the upper tolerance level, under the range. And in September, when the September data came, it was 7.41%. So you can understand that for 9 consecutive months, for the 3 consecutive quarters, 3 quarters means 9 consecutive months, the Monetary Policy Committee was not able to maintain the inflation within the band, within the range of the inflation target. That is, the inflation was above upper tolerance level for the 9 months. And that's why where the Reserve Bank of India is failing, that is, its Monetary Policy Committee is failing to meet the inflation target for the 3 consecutive quarters, or 9 consecutive months. It shall set out, it has to provide a report to the central government that why it is failing, the reasons for the failure to achieve the inflation. So in the report, it has to mention the reasons that why it is failing, the remedial actions proposed to be taken by the bank, that what remedial actions it will take or it is taking, an estimate of the time period within which the inflation target will come back in the range. Okay, the timely implementation of the proposed remedial actions also. Okay, by pursuing the remedial actions when the target will be achieved. So these 3 things has to be told in the report that is to be sent to the central government. So I hope you have understood that this special meeting has happened. Why? Because the Monetary Policy Committee is not able to maintain the inflation target within the range. That is, the inflation is going above 6% for the 3 consecutive quarters, or we can say for 9 consecutive months. And that's why this special meeting has happened, to create a report so that these things can be told to the central government, because under the section 45 ZN, it has been said that when there is a failure from the MPC side, then this has to be done. The report has to be sent. And what is the failure means? The failure means that if it is going above the upper tolerance level for 3 consecutive months, or it is going below the lower tolerance level for 3 consecutive quarters. Okay, so the quarters is there. I hope you have understood this very clearly. So now, again, I hope you have understood that the off-cycle meeting has happened in November 3, and this is a very special off-cycle meeting that was there. This is the first in the history of MPC that this kind of special meeting, this kind of off-cycle meeting was happened. Official explanation has to be given to the central government through the report that why the MPC is not able to maintain the inflation within the range. This will be the first time. This is the first time since the Monetary Policy Committee framework came into effect in 2016, because the RBI Act was amended in 2016 to provide for a framework of for the MPC. So since the MPC has been set up, since then there was no such thing like this meeting, like this failure, but now it has happened, and so the RBI will have to explain its actions to the government that why this is happening. And we all know in a way that why this is happening, because the Russia-Ukraine war, that is outside the control of India, that is outside the control of any country. So due to that Russia-Ukraine war, due to the COVID situation also, the conditions are not good in the global market. Okay. So here the committee discussed. Now what the committee has discussed in the special meeting, the committee discussed the draft report that will be sent to the central government, and what is there in the draft report, why it has happened, the reasons, the remedial actions, and when the inflation will come into the range. So these 3 things are under the draft report, and this will be sent to the central government. The consumer based inflation for the September. So you can see that for the September month, the inflation was 7.41%. So after seeing this data, the 9 months, that is for the 3 consecutive quarters, the inflation was above 6%. The inflation was above 6%. Even if you see the data for October 2022, the inflation, the CPI inflation, the retail inflation was around 6.77%. So still it is above 6% for the 10th month also. So the RBI has released statement after the conclusion of the MPC, special MPC meet, that a separate meeting, a special meeting was held of the Monetary Policy Committee on 3rd November 2022, where the MPC has discussed and drafted the report to be sent to the government by the Reserve Bank of India under the provisions of section 45 ZN of the RBI Act. So I have told you that the failure, that what is the failure that has been told under this section, and what should be the action after the failure, what should be the report after the failure. So that is also told under this section, that this draft report has to be sent to the central government with these conditions, that the remedial should be there, the reasons should be there, the timeline should be there. So I hope you can read this, and they were the members of the meeting. So of course the MPC meeting is chaired by The meeting is chaired by the governor of the RBI, that is Shaktikanta Das right now. So India is importing most of its inflation due to the Russia-Ukraine war. The reason is here. So one of the key reasons of RBI failing, they have said that it is the Russia-Ukraine war, and they have limited, like the RBI also has limited control over the global situation, especially a war-like situation. Okay, so the RBI is doing the best it can do. This has been said by the governor, okay, of the RBI. So the Monetary Policy Committee is very important, and I have already taken a complete session telling you that what is this RBI Act, the amendment that has happened. So the RBI Act was amended in around May 2016, where the inflation targeting was introduced, the flexible inflation targeting, and after that it was amended in August 2016, okay, where the MPC framework was introduced. So what is this? Sorry, yes. So the flexible inflation targeting, what is this? In the March, so in August 2016, the flexible inflation targeting was kept, that 4% plus minus 2%. So this was introduced in August 2016 for the 5 years, and after that in March 2021, the central government in consultation with the RBI said that we will continue with this, that 4% plus minus 2%. So the government retained the inflation target that it has set in August 2016. The failure, again I have told the failure in the Monetary Policy Committee session that I took, and about the MPC, the sections, the constitution, the process, the report, everything has been told in the Monetary Policy Committee session. Now this session is very important. You should see this session. This provides you the basis of the Monetary Policy Committee. The RBI is a very important committee under the RBI, okay. So do see this session also. I will provide you the link of this session in the description box below, where we have discussed all about the Monetary Policy Committee. Do see the dates through this session. I have provided you the approx dates here, okay. So this is the question that I hope you can easily answer now. Thank you very much. And these were the people that gave the right answer of the previous session question. It was Anand, Arpita, Ashay, Himanshu, Ayushman, Sri Hari, Black Shadow, Rohan, Rishabh, Raja, Venkatesh, Vardhaman, Yash and Riya. I'm so thankful for you people that you provide the answer, you boost the confidence of the teacher also, that is like the educator also, that is providing you with the information with such nice comments and with such humble approach you are taking. So it is really nice for me also seeing these comments that you provide. It is really nice for me also, okay. So thank you very much, like the heartiest thank you to all. Thank you so much, okay. So now do subscribe to our YouTube channel so for more such sessions, and join our Telegram channel for the PDF of this session, okay. And thank you very much again. I am very thankful to you all. And do like if you have any query, you can mail us here or you can contact us through this number. Thank you very much again. Thank you everyone.